Yo, what is good, my anime people? What is good, yo? So, JoJo this week, eh? Holy crap, guys. JoJo is a show that I truly give the benefit of the doubt to when it comes down to just to surprise me, just to throw out something I probably don't expect. And of course, JoJo delivers like always this week, and just like in almost every single week, besides when we get freaking rev recaps and stuff like that. But OMG, we truly get to see some awesome ways of using your mind when it comes down to these seemingly quick timed battle, and if you make one mistake you lose types of deals. So it's cool to me to see that every time that they kind of like give us the opportunity to see an L for the person, they usually don't take it, and that's usually because of how intelligent the characters are. Not only that, um, just the just what they go through to pretty much get to the state that they are. Like, they usually go through so much in the real world, and even through some of the battles that they've already gone through, that they're just different people. They change consistently, and that was really shown more in the other JoJo's, I feel like. I mean, this one is, we're going into some people that are already quite veteran in the game when it comes down to using their ability. Um, just even knowing that if they use their ability, the situation they might be in, if it's countered, all these type of things are seemingly um, known by the gangsters. And because of that, you get these fights that are taking place that can be a lot more just entertaining and overall like outgoing and outstanding, simply because we already understand the core concept of what's possible with the stands and stuff like that. So to all of a sudden have these guys doing things that are absolutely nuts continuously doesn't really hurt the story. So with almost defeating Thankful Death in this week's episode, at the very, like, towards the beginning of the episode, we come to find out this man is just as sticky as the people who are good when they get to be good. Because you got to remember, there's some good people in JoJo, like, that are actually smart and doing things just like how JoJo would do it and stuff like that. But we got to remember that these same people have been killed in the previous series. And I'm sorry if that spoils you at all to know that if you go to an old JoJo series, that some of the good people might die. But yeah, it's not too far out of their range. I mean, if you see this week's episode and see how close like both characters got to dying, in the sense of actually almost every single character. We almost literally lost the whole entire squad this week just because of one person, pretty much, and that was the guy with the fish hook. Like, he almost took out the whole entire squad, and that's what I'm talking about. When it comes down to these weird ways for people to kind of ease their way into showing us how ridiculous anybody can be, as long as he has the potential, as long as someone actually sees what you're capable of, it kind of brings out that even more motivation in these characters in JoJo. Or maybe not even that, it's just for this guy in particular that this was very um, very powerful for him to have this extra motivation behind him. But yeah, so we see him using the fish hook, and pretty much after knowing his brother could have died, after Bucciati pretty much unzips this hook that he put into his own brother's hand, He knew exactly location where he put it in his brother's hand. He knew what his brother's hand like was, like if it was his right or his left, where his pinky should be located. All of these things. And Brucietti still tricks him for quite a bit of time by unzipping his hand and then re-zipping the clothes hook or the fish hook back into his hand. Oh my god, like it was this episode, if you did not watch it and you're just listening to my interpretation, like it does not do it justice how ridiculously dope they made. When you hear him say the name, it sounds like Slippy, like Slippery Man, but in subtitles it says Zipper Man. So he's like slippery or something like that, you know, like instead of zipper, you think zipper and slippery would be two very big different things out there, but I mean, for some reason it's rolling off the tongue the same way. But yeah, it was very, very cool to see that all of these characters that we've seen that probably have taken out some bad guys relatively in like easy, more nonchalant ways, I think we're going to continuously see them now go further and beyond, like in this week's episode with Zipper Man, straight up just going out cold. Oh my gosh. Like, this is the thing you got to take away from this show, is even the characters amongst the show are judging and holding standards to characters. You know, they might hear about other people who are new and fresh and they do something cool and they're like, holy crap, we better watch out for that guy. But in this case, Buccietti is a Capone, and he's one of the higher ups, and that's why he owns a squad. That's why the boss called him to do this mission in the first place, is because he holds a position of power and a position of responsibility. So when the guy who has Thankful Death literally says, like, you're a trash Capone, like you're doo-doo, and then this week's episode he's literally throwing himself out of a train, holding on to dear life to take out his only reason why he was holding on to dear life was to kill somebody else that was a threat to his team, a threat to his mission. So these are the things that the guy who is literally trying to kill him saw in him and started to then compliment, because you can't not compliment him for what he was still trying to do in such a situation. Regardless of his life, regardless of the situation, he was going to do what he thought was right, and what happened that he think was right was still following the boss's order and taking care of Trish. Which Trish, we need to talk about her towards the end of this, because I get it, guys. I get why you like Trish, but we need to talk about it. But before that, like I was saying, the guy with Thankful Death pretty much went out to say, hey, you know, we respect I respect what you just did. I shouldn't have called you a crappy Capone, you know. I guess I will have to take that back and die. You know, like, it wasn't like, oh yeah, man, you're such a good guy, like, you should just join us and we could take out Trish together. No, it was like, wow, you actually are better than I expected. Okay, well, die. And to think that unzipping his, like, throwing a punch at him dodging it and being like, wow, you're slow, was my first thought was, there's no way he's throwing a punch towards you anymore. He's got you outside of a train. Like, he doesn't need to hurt you anymore. The only thing he needs to do is actually try to kill you. And that's what it came down to when he knew that the fishhook was the one lifeline that he had, no pun intended, to save him in that situation. Of course, Buccietti makes his move and absolutely wrecks that fishing line, sending him into the train, like into a pole, but then the train like catches him underneath and he's alive still. Oh, just flopping there. But because he was unconscious for a little bit, I think his stand disappeared, or like he lost control of his stand at that point. And because of that, that's why everybody started aging for a little bit, and then he woke back up and then activated his stand again, and people started aging again. So not even that took out that character, and that's what I'm talking about. Like whenever the story calls for some extra, they give it to him. You know, like we just saw a character who shrunk, and you know he got beat up by Aerosmith guy, and he didn't get like, I mean, he did get hurt pretty bad. I don't know if it was hit at that speed and run over by a train bad, but somehow he came out alive enough to witness the final battle and everything, you know. So if the story truly calls for it in JoJo, that was my only like dilemma with it, is they'll make it happen. But if it doesn't call for it, oh, by God, you are dead, you know? Like, get out of here. So that's just how that goes. And I guess with the final battle being off the train and the guy with the fishhook finally stopping the train overall, whew, I expected an easy, little, simple, straightforward battle. And it turned into a lot more than that. It turned into pretty much our main character just having the upper hand in resolve, including so much resolve that his eye color changed, that he like ascended his own body or something. Like he went to a new level of thinking, and you kind of figured it was over once the guy started threatening to do all these other things that wouldn't just fight 1v1. It kind of hurt his character, and that's what I mean by the show being so interesting, is that it hurt his character in front of another character who didn't like it, and that's what made him even stronger, to destroy someone who is doing something that he doesn't believe in. And he respected the resolve of when he was throwing the fishing hook and actually like catching him over and over and over when he was throwing like the zipper man was straight up zipping off every part of his arm with the fishing rod in it, and he still couldn't get away because the guy was reading every movement he was doing after he was taking the fishing rod out. So he respected that. But then to go from that into, oh, I'm just going to grab this turtle and smash everybody in it who's still maybe aging and can't even defend themselves. Now who's the winner, who's the best? And somehow that made our captain of our squad way stronger and just straight up wreck house with this guy. So to see someone do something and it's not the reason why you expect he's doing it is always so entertaining, and JoJo knows how to give that to us. So guess what they do? This man goes up running, blocking with both arms like it's gonna do something, and knowing that it's going to go through both of his arms and probably straight to his heart, or at least it's going to go through two of his arms, he was going to grab the rope, beat the crap out of it with zipper, and then make it so it falls around the man's neck and he chokes him out with his own freaking rope, which makes a lot of sense that his stand was capable of, like, his own ability was capable of hurting him, because I've never seen that ability like his. And then not to mention it being such a powerful line that was not breaking at all or showing any like real effect that it's being hurt. Yeah, you better believe that thing is probably strong enough to take out his own user, you know? It's kind of like having a bomb and it's like, oh, well, if I don't put this bomb far enough away from me, it's gonna kill me. Like, my stand ability sucks. So that's kind of a really cool way to also think about this show, is imagine stands just continuously being used against their own owners if that's the only way they see fit of winning the battle at the moment. Like, that's not out of their range to do that, and that's why the show is so amazing. I picked Nero because he had this really cool looking stand looking monster when he got the sword from his father's sword, Virgil's sword. So I thought Nero was pretty cool choice to pick for this video. You can judge me in the comments if you like. But yeah, guys, JoJo is going in, and we are in for a show. We got another person tracking it down. I feel kind of bad for these guys who are tracking this group. Like, they just don't know what they got themselves into, and not to mention some are dying 2 at a time while others are dying by themselves. So yeah, this is pretty rough for a crew that we just got to meet, and they're getting absolutely decimated. So let's see who gets the next showing of greatness. And to talk about Trish very briefly, because it was a very brief moment, like, she has a giant cat demon monster or something. Like, what the heck was that? What? What does her father have? Oh my god. All I saw was a giant palm print into the ground. Her body completely turned with like this purple aura. I get it, guys. She seems broken. I just need more. But yeah, with that, my anime people, I will leave you guys with this video. I'm going to drop another one relatively soon. So if you do subscribe, hit that notification bell. You'll get instantly notified when my next one drops. So thank you so much for the support. Your boy got to make another video, and it will be out as soon as possible. So thank you again, and I will talk to you in the next one. All right. Peace.